So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So that's how the movie starts.
Yeah, they're literally in the car.
They're in the car coming back from somewhere important. Not that important. And her and her mom are it's true.
Saw it in theaters
they're listening to
the for not knowing.
They're listening to the end of an audiobook and they're both crying. It's The Grapes of Wrath.
Yeah.
By James Steinbeck. Which spoilers, the ending of The Grapes of Wrath is the first 15 seconds of the movie. So if you haven't read The Grapes of Wrath, you really care about it. Maybe don't watch this yet.
We haven't been doing good at giving spoiler warnings for the movies we
reviewed
recently.
Yeah, I think that we just at some point I just need to put a blanket spoiler warning on the front of these or something.
Yeah, maybe I'll put it in the thumbnail.
maybe I'll put it in the new intro that's being worked on.
Oh, okay.
You like that?
Sure.
Great. And immediately after it's finished, Lady Bird takes the tape, puts it away, and tries to turn on the radio, and her mom goes, "Oh, no. Can't we just sit with what we just listened to, what we just heard? Do we have to be entertained constantly?" And then they're just sitting there, and then they start talking, and then they start arguing, and it starts escalating, and then Lady Bird literally jumps out of the car while it's moving.
Then it cuts to her in a cast.
Yep, and we learn that she goes to a Catholic school, and her parents aren't very wealthy, but they have a house, and her mom's a nurse, and her dad works in some tech thing.
You do not even know how in line with my life this is. My mom was a nurse. She was a nurse.
Dude,
she's retired.
I'm gonna say it. My uncle was like, I've never thought I'd relate to a teenage girl.
Man.
And then he did.
Yeah.
Is that what you're feeling right now?
I've related to a teenage girl a lot. Just because
it's because you watch good movies.
Well, also because I overthink things, and I'm highly emotional. I'm more of an emotional person. But like I said, I think balance is the key word in my life. I think I balance that out with logic as best I can, but I am very emotional. And so my mom was a nurse. She's retired. She eventually, her and my dad split. She got a house, and we lived in a house, but she was a nurse. But we weren't rich by any means. And also, my parents, while they were together, and a little bit after they had split, scraped the money together so that my sister and I could go to a private Christian school instead of public school. So this is I had a lot of parallels.
Did you also do theater in your private Christian school?
No, there was enough people for that.
That's the real.
I literally had 10 people in my graduating class.
That's crazy. I had 700.
Yeah, 10, and I was one of the people. So
that's crazy. So you were top 10.
I sure was.
You could always tell people in interviews that you're top 10 in your class.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Because it's not a lie.
Yeah. I was ranked 10 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. I was ranked higher than that, but even so. Yeah.
So Lady Bird, whose name is Christine McPherson, but she goes by Lady Bird in the early 2000s, 2002 to be exact, right after 9/11. Oh, that was part of what the conversation was, is that she said to her mom that she wants to live through something, like something meaningful. And her mom was like, Aren't you doing that? And that's what started their fight. Anyways, she's not a great student. Some would say she's a bad one.
Yeah. I would say average. I think
I would say she's average. She skips class.
Yeah, there were some things that she was good at, but most of the things her biggest thing was like, why do I suck so bad at math?
Yeah. She doesn't know what she wants to do with her life.
Can we talk about, I think it's weird for people to expect their teenage kids to know what they want to do with the rest of their life.
I agree with that.
At that time, like, they haven't lived enough life yet.
If you know, you know. If you don't, that's also fine.
Yeah, because then you've got when you try to force that on them, then you've got kids in college switching their major every year.
Right, and that's how colleges continue to suck more and more money out of poor, unsuspecting teens that don't know that they're taking out loans that they'll never be able to pay off.
Yeah.
Not all of them,
I paid off,
but a large majority of
I
them.
paid off my student loans.
I had one semester's worth of student loans. I'm still paying them. But that's just because I pay $50 a month on them. It's literally the lowest.
Yeah.
So it's not detrimental.
Okay.
So, okay. That was a little sassy there, Jarvis.
Well, that interest is going to build up, brother.
Oh, no, it gets paid off, I think, by the end of this year.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Really low interest rate. So
Good,
somehow.
good.
It's not crippling like everyone else.
Not everybody could say that.
Yeah, no, that's...
some people have paid their loans twice over and they still owe the...
Yeah, that's how mortgages are. And now you're a part of that one.
America's so broken.
Yeah. How is it my property if people can tell me what to do with it and the government still makes me pay for it?
Exactly. Speaking of broken and being in crippling debt, Lady Bird, her parents can't afford anything.
Her parents can't afford anything. So her mom and her are trying to figure out how she's going to go to college, because that is the 2000s mindset. When you don't have money, is to go get an education, which I think for the early 2000s is still a very fair mindset to have. It's like before it started deteriorating rapidly.
Yeah, these days it's not worth anything.
These days is unless the job that you want to do is like it requires it, like a nurse or a teacher or something. Yeah, you can pretty much do just about anything without a degree.
Yeah.
Like I was going to school for film stuff, and let me tell you, a lot of the people that I went to school with, instead of making a movie and now owning one of the cameras that they always dreamed of, are paying off their student loans with the money that they could have used to do both of those things.
Well, they work there part-time.
Shout out my friend Todd. He lives in LA and has since I left college, and he used to work for a studio, and then COVID happened, and now he lives in Los Angeles. Not doing that. Todd, I'm coming to visit if you watch this.
Put a like on the video if you watch.
I haven't told him yet. But Todd, if you see this, I'm coming to visit. Oh, my phone fell. I'm living with it there.
Yeah. So
Private school.
Parents don't have no money.
Yeah, and Lady Bird really wants to go to school out of state, and her mom.
As did I. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, I think that's a very common thing.
I was like, I cannot wait to move as far away from you as humanly possible.
I think that's super common. I also think that a thing that I had in common with Lady Bird in this is that she had a deep hatred for her hometown. I also had a deep hatred for San Antonio when I was just graduating.
I didn't have that. I just didn't. I was like, I'm tired of living at home.
Yeah, you wanted to get away from family.
I was like, the Bible college that I ended up going to just so happened to be in Missouri and 12 hours away. So I was like, that's where I'm going. See you later.
I just wanted to get out.
Hey, call back.
You're all welcome. You're all welcome for that one.
If you've watched our stuff, then you know that's a running bed. But that was a very natural one.
That one
wasn't forced at all.
So she wants to, and a non-Catholic college as well, which she's told her Catholic school advisor very directly. And they said that her taking an extracurricular would really look good on a college resume. And they said maybe theater would probably fit really well with you. And she said, I was thinking like a mathlete. And her advisor went, you kind of got to be good at math for that. And from your scores, you're not really good at math. And she said, that we know of yet.
It was confirmed.
That was the kind of person she is.
Yeah, confirmed later.
So her and her best friend, Julie, signed up for auditions, and everybody got a part, because that's how Catholic school theater works there, at least, but probably about accurate. And Julie got a better part than Lady Bird did, because Lady Bird wanted to kiss the hot boy. So instead, she just starts trying to hang out with the hot boy instead.
She knows what she wants, and she gets what she wants.
She does. And her family's happy that she's like dating this
good Christian boy.
Good Christian boy from an affluent family, and her mom talks about how
there's
she doesn't want to look like she comes from trash.
That one made me mad.
I did not hear as many of these like things growing up. Again, I had like neglectful parents, not like verbally abusive parents, but you and Sybil both had the like, hey, you need to stop being, you need to stop acting like we're poor. Otherwise, people aren't going. The like, hey, your dad's looking for a job, and any of your rich friends could get your dad a job, but they won't if you look like trash.
Yeah,
that one's. I never had that.
For me, I got called more. It was more of me getting called stupid, stupid idiot in those, in that order, stupid idiot. And
yeah.
To this day, I have a complex about people thinking I'm dumb when I'm really, really smart, guys. I really am.
You are.
Oh, thanks.
You are really smart for what it's worth.
So that's the verbal stuff that I had to deal with. So verbal abuse. I relate.
You don't want to look like you come from trash.
I mean, I do. I kind of dress like a homeless person, but that's because it's comfortable clothes.
It's true.
It's super comfortable. Yeah. That's my choice.
I am with you on that. I started buying nice looking comfortable clothes so that I didn't have an excuse to not like wear decent looking like this. This is comfortable and it looks okay.
I feel like if I meet someone, I'm just going to trust them to help me not look.
It does help.
Yeah.
When you get married and someone cares about how you look.
Yeah, for my signature scent, I'll wait for her for that. She could pick it out. She could she could help me dress up for date nights. But
my favorite thing to do,
yeah.
Oh my God, my favorite thing to do, I'm in bed in the morning and she goes, hey, I need we got to get up, we got to go do something. I go, why don't you pick out my outfit? I love not having to think about it.
Yeah, me too, which is why I only wear like 4 sets of the same pants and clothes over and over again.
Yeah. But anyways, so Lady Bird makes friends in theater, and they're having a good time.
I wanted to say,
go ahead.
Sorry, regarding the movie.
Oh, yes.
There is a point where Lady Bird and Julie, they daydream about this really nice house.
Oh, yeah.
Start to live like, this is that. If only I lived in that house. It's actually brought up quite a bit. It
is a reoccurring thing where they talk about that house specifically.
Yeah, and it turns out
that's Hot Boy's grandma's house.
Hot Boy's grandma's house. Yep.
And so she gets to go there for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Which is great.
It's a dream come true for her.
Yeah, and so she finds this really nice dress and then goes to Thanksgiving, and then they all hang out and smoke at the end of the street like teens do.
Yeah. I enjoyed that moment because it
was very sweet. Fun, a lot of this movie is like a lot of teen moments.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet and cringy
at
the same time.
Because there's an innocence and ignorance and just that simplistic worldview at that point.
Yeah.
It's just,
where it's like this is their whole world, but like I remember being there and being like, oh, this is like the most important thing ever.
Exactly.
And then it actually ending up not being important at all.
Well, yeah, it was formative for her. Those moments just because of what happens as we go further down the plot, Michael.
Yeah. So they all good things keep happening.
Yes.
Right.
Things are looking up.
Things continue to progress, and they end up doing their play, and it goes really well. And during the cast party or whatever it is that's happening,
someone needs to use the bathroom, really bad.
And the women's bathroom always has a line.
Notoriously.
And so Lady Bird goes, hey, Julie, come on, let's go to the boys' bathroom. There's never a line. And they walk in, and they kick open one of the stalls, and her hot theater boyfriend is making out with some guy.
Yeah, with another guy, yeah.
And now everything's terrible.
I mean, you think about that moment, you're like, yeah, your whole world would come crashing down.
For sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember those moments too.
Yeah. And so from here on out, Lady Bird doesn't really want to be around the same people anymore.
I can imagine.
She starts trying to make friends with the popular people. There's a very popular girl who I don't remember her name, which tells you as much as, do you remember her name? Right. That she's the popular girl, and she starts trying to hang out with our boy Timmy, who I also don't remember his name in the movie.
Yeah, is he the bass guitarist, or he's
Yeah, and he's just kind of a tool the whole time.
yeah, that teenage edginess that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, one of
Like,
their
he's just contrary to, be contrary.
yeah, their first interaction is in a parking lot where he's like, "Here, give me your phone number," and she goes, "This is my parents' phone number. It's the house phone." He goes, "Oh, you don't have a cell phone?" She says no, and he says, "Good girl. That's how they track us."
Yeah, I love. I
You're
think
like,
in that
okay,
moment,
man.
doesn't she say something about like killing his family or something? Doesn't she make a joke?
Or something about killing her dad.
Yeah, or something like
Or
that.
something he said, and she said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. That I probably shouldn't have said that." He said, "No, it's okay. God took care of that for us,"
Yeah, dude.
which was a crazy way
dude,
to say your dad's dead.
Yeah, her personality is so great. Like,
She's so awkward.
yeah, but it's so funny. Yeah, I loved it.
No,
it.
it's
But yeah,
great.
she makes jokes offhand that like don't land.
Yeah, so she's dating him now and hangs out with the popular girl, and starts neglecting her actual best friend Julie, and starts doing like things she probably shouldn't be, skipping class more, losing her virginity to a guy that obviously doesn't care.
Yeah, he lied to her about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then gaslit.
And
her
then
about
gaslit her about lying to her about it.
it. Yeah,
And then
I
they
never
gone,
said
"You're
that."
choosing to be upset about this."
Yeah, it's your choice. You don't have to be upset. This doesn't have to be an issue if you don't make it one.
And so they
That's what
break
he
up.
told her.
Yeah. And so they break up, but she still wants to go to prom with him. And all during this, she's applying to schools, and she gets rejected by basically all of them.
Secretly applying to the schools on the East Coast that she wants to go to.
Yeah, but also applying
Without
to the
her mom
schools
knowing.
that
her dad
her
knows
mom
'cause
wants.
He's
Her dad lost his job.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and that becomes a tension point with her mom.
That's where isn't that where they have that conversation
Yeah, like right after the breakup.
about like, hey, like give me a number, like tell me how much.
Yeah, that is where that happens. Yes, that is where that happens.
I remember stuff sometimes.
Yeah. So, man, I'm trying to remember sequence of events.
So she's hanging out with the cool kids. She
Yeah.
loses her virginity to the guy. Who doesn't care.
Yeah, and then she stays home from school or was suspended or something. No, she didn't get suspended. She stayed home from school one day, and her cool new friend was like, "Hey, we all got out early because it's St. Patrick's Day."
St. Patrick's Day, that's right. Yeah.
And she's like, "Guess where I'm at?" And then rings the doorbell of the really big house because she lied to the popular girl about where she lives, and had a really awkward thing where
Wasn't that all before
it was
the
like,
prom,
"Hey, I
or
lied."
no?
It was before prom,
Yeah.
and so they're not really friends now because
She lied.
she got lied to. And it's really awkward, but now she's getting ready to go to prom and goes and tries to pick out a dress with her mom. And anytime that she gets excited about something, her mom's like, "It's not really like that
Just
great
unable
on
to
you."
be happy
Yeah,
for her
and-
or with her.
Yeah, and so she points it out. She's like, "Is there like any point at which that you could just like say something nice to me?" She's like, "Well, I say nice things all the time. I'll say something nice when you find a dress that looks good. Like, what do you want me to say?" She's like, I just want you to be like, for once that I look nice."
Yeah.
And her mom's like kind of starting to get it, but
Yeah.
is just kind of a bitch overall. So
Well, I want to interject too because I think Greta Gerwig makes a good job of making it clear that like, look, her mom is flawed. She's not a jerk just to be one, because there's a moment where earlier in the movie where Lady Bird, she says to her mom, she's like, "Haven't you ever just made a mistake before and
wanted your mom to
yeah
not come in and make it worse?"
Yeah, and she was just like, "My mom was drunk."
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. That was another one of those, like, we almost had it. It's like, it's my mom was an abusive alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's like, sure, that's the point.
Yeah.
This one, was while they were dress shopping was this Lady Bird said, "Do you like me?" And her mom said, "Of course I love you." She said, "But do you like me?"
Yeah.
And her mom went, "I just want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be."
Yep.
And Lady Bird says,
that was another.
"What if this is the best version of me?" And her mom had nothing to say to that.
Bro. Yeah, that also made me very upset.
Yeah. So now we get to prom. And Lady Bird is very nicely dressed and is about to go out, and her date shows up, honks, and her dad says, You're not really going to go to prom with a guy who honks. She said, I think I am. Yeah. And even her brother's like, man, even you deserve better than this.
Yeah, which there's a lot of tension there as well.
Yeah. So
which I also get.
Yes.
I'm not close to my sister at all either. We butt heads all the time.
So she gets in the car, and on the way there, it's her now ex-boyfriend, her ex-friend, and her date.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
And they start going, and Timothy Chalamet gets a call, and it's like, yeah, we can go do that. Hey, let's all ditch prom and go to this guy's house instead. And Lady Bird's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then a song that played earlier in the movie where she was hanging out with Julie after she found out her boyfriend was gay started playing. And he was like, oh, this song's garbage. And she said, no, I actually like this song.
Has Sybil found out yet that her husband is gay?
We both appreciate.
No, but yeah. She hears a song. Mr. Chalamet is like, I hate this song, and she's like, I actually like it, and she's like, you know what? I think I do want to go to prom. Can you drop me off at my best friend's house?
And he's like, sure. And so she goes, and her friend Julie is sitting in her parents' apartment, sad and alone.
And her mom bringing some groceries.
Yeah, and Lady Bird shows up and is like, I've been an awful friend, and I'm so sorry, and I just want to spend the night with you instead. And so they hung out. Yeah. And then was like, oh, man, I wish we could go to prom if only you had a dress. And Julian was like, I've had a dress for months.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
And they go and have the best
time.
Dancing
honestly,
together,
the best prom to have.
Yeah, they do all their photos together. It's great.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
Yeah.
And then Lady Bird gets accepted to the just the college in town, right, where she can, and her brother lines her up with his old job at the grocery store, and so like her college is basically set up. She gets to be at home working at the grocery store and going to school.
Yeah, she's had a lot of rejection letters.
Yeah,
but I think,
and they're celebrating the exception.
Yeah, and then
another letter comes in where she said she's getting waitlisted for a school in New York.
Yeah. And
hides it with Dad.
Yeah. But it comes out.
Yeah, and then they're at a celebration dinner for graduation.
Yeah.
And she makes up with the gay ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, now he's the gay
and now he's the gay best friend, which is very sweet because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was.
And she handled it very, very nicely.
I think she did a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, for someone who was very mad at him.
Yeah.
And so they're at that dinner, and he walks over to the table and goes, "Oh, hey, I heard about the wait list. Like, congratulations!" And Dad literally goes, "Oh, fuck." Yeah. Probably one of the best lines delivered in the movie.
Yeah,
it was right there. And this is the downfall of everything that happens, because from that moment on, Lady Bird's mom just does not talk to her. In fact, we don't hear a single line from her for the rest of the movie.
That's not true. Doesn't she say something? She says something to her when they're dropping her off.
Oh, you're right.
At the
airport. They get like a short bit, but that's
she said.
We'll get there.
Well, she says. She asked her mom if she's gonna come.
We're not there, Jarvis. We're not there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just saying. You said she doesn't say anything else for the rest of the movie. And I was like,
"You're right." True. She has like 2 lines right there at the end. So, so Lady Bird is desperately trying for months to get her mom to talk to her, just to like discuss what's going on. Ends up getting her driver's license. Ends up like prepping to go to school, and then she it's the day she gets to go, and her mom pulls up to the airport and stops the car and
She says get out.
says get out, and Lady Bird goes, "You're not even gonna see me off," and she says,
"Well, she said the parking garage is too far and we don't have money to pay for it anyways." Something to that effect.
and they don't even let you go up to the gate anymore because of 9/11. So
oh yeah.
So your dad will walk you up to it though.
Yep.
And that was like the moment.
Yeah, and Lady Bird doesn't get to see it, but we get to see.
Yeah, her mom has a regret.
She makes a loop around the airport, starts coming back, and then she tries to.
Is the first time in the whole movie where we see her mom like understand that she was wrong.
Yeah, and then
very good.
She's done something that she's going to regret.
Yeah, and she was too late.
She was too late.
She was too late.
So she gets to regret it later.
Yep. So Lady Bird's up in New York, trying to start out her new life.
Yeah,
goes to a college party, meets a guy, says her name's Christine because she's
her real name.
Yeah, having a little bit of growth, and then the guy's like, "Where are you from?" She says, "Sacramento," and he goes, "Where?" She said,
he's
"San Diego." It's like, great. Okay, so she's not like regressing or progressing.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it. Sybil thinks that it's regressing that she went back to her parents' chosen a name for her.
Well,
but that's a thing for Sybil.
Yeah, I was gonna say, considering Sybil's backstory.
Yeah, that one makes sense. Yeah. We have a lot to talk about in private about that one because Sybil hates the ending to this movie.
Yeah,
and it makes sense if you know her.
I get it because I'm trying to.
Hey, you look good over there.
Look real good.
We thought about sharing your kindness with others.
Share the love.
Maybe like the video. Click on that subscribe button. And show your friends.
Yeah, just touch it ever so lightly, that like button. Move over to the subscribe button. Maybe tap your keyboard just a little bit. Leave a comment. Bye.
That's it.